Hey guys, y'all ready? Okay, I was told by fifth grade that I go too slow, so I've decided to start moving faster. All right, here we go. You are on chapter 16. This is lesson 149, and we're doing ratios and percents. Okay, this is page 373, 374. Yep. Okay, guys, here we go. Ratios and percents. This is going to be a no-brainer. Y'all got this. All right, so percent. Let me get my notes. Okay. Percent is a ratio where the quantity, whoops, I should have skipped down a line. Is compared to 100, and the sign is this, a percent sign. Okay? Okay, so let's just jump in with some examples. Percent is always over 100. Now, it can be reduced, okay? But it's always over 100. Okay? So, for example, it says the directions, write the ratio as a percent. So let's say it's 30 over 100. You know what the percent is? 30%. That's it. 30%. How about if it was 25 over 100? That would be 25%. What if the ratio looked like this? 59 to 100. What percent would that be? 59%. What if it was 99 to 100? 99%. I think you guys got the idea. Let's move on to the next example. Let's say it says write the percent in fraction form with 100 as denominator. Okay, denominator. When it comes to a fraction, is the denominator the top number or the bottom number? It's the bottom number. Very good. So let's say it's 16%. You know how you would write that as a fraction? And it doesn't say to reduce in this section. They just want the 100 as a denominator. And it doesn't matter. Even if they didn't tell you that, you always write a percent over 100. So 16% is 16 over 100. Now, normally, you would reduce this fraction, put it in lowest terms. But the directions did not tell you that. Now, the next directions I'm going to write down tell you to do that. So, key thing here, directions. When you're doing your homework, you better follow directions. Got it? Follow directions. I will count off for not following directions. Okay, let's do another example. How about 25%? How would you write that? As a fraction with 100 as a denominator. It'd be 25 over 100. What about 3%? Again, it's 3 over 100. Because anytime you have a percent, you always write it over 100. 48%. That'd be 48 over 100. Okay? Percent is always written over 100. Now, let's say the directions say write the percent as a ratio, whoops, not a ration, as a ratio in fraction form in lowest terms. Because truly that's what you want to do. Anytime it's in fraction form, you want to put it in lowest terms. So let's say it's 20%. All right, well, you always write the percent over 100, and then you reduce that. What number goes into this evenly? The biggest number would be 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 100 divided by 20 is 5. You know how to do, you know how to reduce. Make sure you reduce to the lowest terms, not just lower terms, but the lowest terms. How about 10%? Always write, I don't have Corona. Always write it over 100, and then we reduce. 10 can go into both evenly. It's the biggest number that can do that. And we have 1 over 10. Let's do some more. And then I'm going to be setting you free. Okay, y'all said to go faster, so here I am. 50%. Again, write it over 100. Always over 100. Reduce. 50 goes into 50. And you get 1 over 2. 80%. 80 over 100, and then put it in lowest terms. What number goes into 80 and 100? The largest number that can go into 80 and 100 evenly? 20. 80 divided by 20 is 4. 100 divided by 20 is 5. I better see these reduced fractions in your homework if your homework tells you to do that. How about if I have 15%? 15 over 100. What number goes into 15 and 100 evenly? 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. Okay, now we're going to talk about proportions. So I think you got the idea here. This is another thing, proportions. This is another example. It says complete the proportion, write the ratio as a percent. Okay, proportion, just to remind you, because you've done these before, move that out of the way, to show that you've done this before, a proportion looks like this. It's two fractions with an equal sign in between. Remember cross multiplication and all that good stuff, okay? So the way you're going to be doing it today is they're going to give you the first fraction, and then they may give you the bottom number, which is 100. Okay, well, how many times does 10 go into 100? So 10 times 10 gives you 100. It's okay. So what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 3 times 10 is 30. So what percentage is that? Because we then need to write it as a percent. Remember, it's always over 100, so then it's 30%. Okay, let's do another one. 5 over 25 equals blank over 100. Remember, we're trying to go from a like a fraction or ratio and into percent. So 25 times what gives me 100? 25 times 4. So what we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. So 5 times 4 is 20. So then what percent is that? Notice it's over 100, so then it's just 20%. Make sure when you're doing this, you don't skip this step. You can't tell me it's 5% because that's not over 100. So you got to kind of convert that over to 100. Okay, by just seeing how many times 25 go in there? 4. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. Okay, I'm going to write another one. I want you to hit pause. Work this problem out, then come back and see if you got it right. How many times 5 go into 100? 20. So we do to the bottom, we have to do the top. 5 times 20 is 100. 3 times 20 is 60. So what percent is that? 60%. Hopefully y'all got that. Let's do another one. 3 over 50. Okay, pause the video and you work this out. How many times 5 go into 100? Twice, so 50 times 2 gives me 100. 50 times 2 gives me 100. So then we need to do the same for the top. 3 times 2 is 6. What percentage is that? It's 6 over 100, so then it's 6%. Okay? All right, I think that's going to be it. You guys are doing page. See, I went fast. And if I went too fast, you guys can always pause the video, rewind, go back. You're going to be doing page 373 to 374. You're going to be doing numbers 1 through 15 odd. And I want you to do (21) through 31 odd. That's going to be due Wednesday. And I want you to look at like 20. Look at number 20. Okay, look at number 20. It's a little bit different. It's similar to this right here, but they didn't give you like the 100. So like for 20, they give you 6 over 10, and they tell you to find the percent. Okay? The bottom number always has to be what? 100. So 10 goes into 100 how many times? How many times? You multiply it. 10 times 10 is 100. So what you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So then you get 60. What percent is that? 60%. Don't forget that percent sign. So in this section, that 21 to 25, they did not give you that 100 like we did up here. Like look at 22. They give you 1 over 50. And they just say change that into a percent. Okay, we're still doing proportion. What number has to be on the bottom for it to be a percent? Has to be 100. 50 times what gives you 100? 2. So 1 times 2, because you've got to do the same at the top. 1 times 2 is 2. So what's the percent? 2%. That's the answer. Okay? And I think we did, yeah, we did examples of the others. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Don't sit there and freak out. Don't start crying and throwing stuff around. That's ridiculous. It's math. Math isn't supposed to make you lose your temper, even though it does. It's not supposed to make you cry. Remember what I told you. There's no crying in math. There's no fun in math sometimes either, but no crying in math. Contact me. But you need to have watched this video too. All right, so here's your work. It's due Wednesday. Your IXL is due today. And I'll let you know if we have another quiz or test later on down the road, okay? All right, take care. If you need anything, let me know. See ya.